Beef Soup Production.
Hello everybody, this is BigStock1974 with Bet on Drew. Today we're going to be discussing a heads-up freeze-out tournament that me and FocusedMotion was playing here at the final table. Going into this, my thought process was knowing that FocusedMotion was probably going to be a lot more aggressive and have a little bit more experience on me with the heads-up situation. My intentions were to try to see as many flops as I could and basically trap with some bigger hands and try to catch him getting it into with it to being better. Alright. This first hand I got Queen 4 and it was just folded. Focus just folds the button. Alright, here 10-7. Again, you know, I didn't want to set the tone to being just to where I'm going to fold a lot of buttons. I wanted to show that I was going to play and try to get a feel for what Focus is going to do. Basically here a missed flop. I assume that both of us are going to miss most of these flops. So I'm bet out, use about half pot. I use that as a filler bet. Gonna call. Now I'm open-ended. Same thing, call. Alright, again, this is kind of surprising too. I was expecting, you know, him to come out at me a lot faster than what has happened. Pretty standard play here with the ace, raising my button, assuming that pretty much everything with ace is going to be good heads up. My thought here is to try to check. Like I said pre-flop, I wanted to try to trap more than to try to bully in this tournament. Trying to get some value. I get one bet, I believe, and then here I'm not really putting focus on the ace with the getting checked down. It's a scary board, but again, I still feel that I've got the best hand. The odds of both people hitting that, you know, are real rare. Same thing again here, trying to keep things in position. So I don't want to be playing out of position against a guy that I feel is already more experienced than me. Seeing flops, like I said at the beginning. Using pot control. And not trying to tangle into to outplay somebody. Like I said, pretty standard play. Nothing exciting with this hand here. Alright, here's a situation, a big hand, pre-flop. He raises, I 3-bet, putting him on a hand raised. You know, I believe that we both probably have an ace, or maybe he has a king, queen, king 10 type range here based off of his raise. Maybe even something like 10-9 suited, jack 10 suited is where I'm putting him. Pretty safe flop for both of us. here, my betting out, he has to believe that I missed the flop. I still believe that I have the best hand, so I'm hoping for a re-raise here. And it didn't happen, but still I'll take it down and be happy. 6-2 from the button. Again, I don't want to show weakness by folding a lot of buttons, so a lot of these small hands heads up I'll play just because of the fact that I don't want to show weakness and allow him to start running over me. My bet here is there was no raise pre-flop, so I feel pretty safe that Focus doesn't have a ace. He didn't bet out on the flop, so I feel pretty safe that he doesn't have the 8. So I believe my 2s here are probably still the best hand. Again, using pot control when out of position. That's why you don't see nothing fancy, no 3 bets or anything crazy coming out. And just getting away with it with a minimal loss. Again, trying to trap, putting him on the same range, somewhere in the middle of the thing. Here, I've got the straight. It's a really good flop for me. No need to bet. I'm trying to entice him to bet at it. I put him in the middle range somewhere, Jack 10, 10-9, King Queen, all these types of hands. I feel pretty confident that he's probably gotten a piece of this flop. Bet out half pot. Again, using pot control. Pretty standard play here. Hit middle pair. Nothing crazy. Pretty standard play. Queen 9, again, heads up, the hand selections that you're using is going to be a lot wider than you would in most other tournaments. So Queen 9 and pretty much any paint is going to be a fairly strong hand. So when I get re-raised here, I at least want to see a flop and make sure that I don't potentially have the best hand. Again, nothing that can make a straight. Nice flushes. Nothing worth mixing up into big pots. It's still early. The blinds are still small. Pretty standard play here. Again, a lot of times, the first person that bets will usually stand a chance of winning the pot, and you're not going to learn anything about where you're at with the hand unless you do put something out there. So that's where a lot of my bets are. You'll see they're feeler type bets. The feeler bet here actually even got me to the river, to where I at least did pair the board. It gave me the straight draw, so I had a lot of outs here that kept me in this hand. Again, I think there would have been another bet on the turn if Focus did have the queen. And again, my bet there, as you've seen pre-flop or on the flop, when I made this bet, 45 right here, he calls. And it allows for me to get to the turn, to get the straight draw. It entices the check and allows me to get to the 10 to also make the hand. And then a value bet on the river. A lot of these hands will actually get you to where you need to be. Again, same thing, pretty standard. Middle pair. A little bit over, half pot bet, and fold. Pretty standard play. Again, pretty much any ace here is going to be a fairly solid hand. No raise because of the position. Normally in position that would be a raised hand. Continuation bet just to see where I'm at. And unluckily we both just hit. It pretty much, a lot of these bets were just strictly pot control to try to prevent from getting shoved out of the pot. You know, with a pair, a nice size kicker, the odds of both of us actually hitting is a lot less. Two clubs on the board, there's definitely draws out there that Focus could be drawing to, and he didn't show no real aggression, so that's where a lot of these bets were just to try to control the pot. Again, same thing, just seeing a lot of flops. Pretty standard play here. And same thing, try not to play too much out of position. Again, and you see here, now the blinds are starting to get a little bit bigger. The raising selection to mix it up to prevent from being put on just strictly solid hands is where this is coming to play. Same thing, any paint is worth looking at a flop heads up. Now that I've got the pair, this raise doesn't necessarily indicate an ace, so you're going to want to at least float here and see where you stand and go with on the turn. Again, it was a small bet. We're looking at 2-to-1 basically, just under 2-to-1 to make the call with the pair. It gets me to the turn, gives me trips. Definitely have the best hand here. And no luck with enticing the bet, and Focus catches on. Definitely here you're going to get a raise. Want to keep the raises the same as far as what they've pretty much been at the table, not just what you're making, but what your opponents are making too. That'll help disguise your raises. You know, Focus has been pretty much making 2.5 times raises. If I came out and make it 120, and that's not been the table norm, it throws a red flag out there and it can start giving away your hands. So I try to keep it standard as far as what the table is. I get a re-raise. This is a good situation for me. Don't necessarily put Focus on a pocket pair. Ace King, Ace Queen is what I'm thinking here. And definitely heads up, I'm definitely a nice favorite. Come back over the top with a shove. This bet probably was a little too high. I probably should have made it more around 600. This is probably where you'll see a little bit of my inexperience coming. I think this might have been a big hand in this tournament, actually, as far as one of my mistakes. Again, out of position, got the ace, pretty much almost exactly to the same scenario as what had happened before. Focus bets out. It was definitely a bet bigger than what he's been normally making, so just let it go. Alright, here I'm in position. Even with the pre-flop raise, I've got position to at least see what's going on the flop. Now I'm open-ended. Make a little feeler bet, see where I stand. It buys me to the river. And got away fairly cheap. Pretty standard play here. You notice that both of us, neither one of us really give up our buttons a whole lot. That's very important in the heads up matches, is to make sure that you see as many flops as you can when you're in position. Again, pretty standard play here. C-bet just to see where I'm at, and I take it down. Again, the blinds are starting to get bigger now. It's becoming more important to show your aggression and to steal. Ace high, especially a suited ace, I'm definitely more likely a favorite here, especially with a limp coming into the flop. Pretty standard. Make it all the way to the river and show down ace. And you see here how my float got called, and I got floated myself with the ace high. Focus is definitely well known. The paired board out there increases the odds even more likely that I did not hit any piece of that board. So ace jack, definitely a big hand here. Again, same situation. I've stuck to the same game plan through the whole tournament. My intentions was to try to get Focus to commit his chips at the point that I've got it at the best. Unfortunately, just Focus did not do that very often. Alright, nice little re-raise. Here my read is this is just a standard C-bet. The odds are pretty good that he missed this flop. It's a pretty dry flop. So when he bets out, it gives me the opportunity to play back fairly cheaper still, 185 more chips. I'm still well within what my stack call here is, and it allows me to take it down. King 5, again, just playing seam flops. You're going to see this a lot in any heads-up match, I think. Again, pretty much we're both just playing it down. Here, same situation. Betting out to see where I stand. Another C-bet. And I felt there I had the best hand. Turned out I didn't until the river, but I did feel throughout that whole session I did have the best hand. Queen Jack, definitely a good hand, and you're going to see this a lot. As these blinds get bigger, some of these hands, and especially now that I've got control of the stack, I don't want to get mixed up into a small hand and give Focus the opportunity to get back in this. Pretty easy fold. And you'll find that your opponents here will do a lot more shoving once their stacks get closer down here. He was about 20 big blinds, just over 20 big blinds. good. Any face card, you're going to want to see the flop. Another big hand. I had a lot of hands here in this tournament. I just couldn't get the chips committed at the right time. That's what killed it. Again, just seeing flops. Hit top pair here, so you'll definitely see a bet. It's kind of delayed. Okay, and then we take it down. Alright. Internet was moving just a little slow there, guys. Sorry. Alright, again, same situation. Pretty easy fold. Same situation. Alright, again, here, top pair. Alright. Pretty standard play. Same situation. Alright, showing a little bit of aggression from in position. Again, I've got the chips. You want to keep the pressure on. It always seemed like Focus was shoving one hand away from the hand that I wanted him to shove on. Again, pretty standard play. We'll just keep fast forwarding this. And so we get some again here. Paint, position raise, pretty standard. And then have to lay it down. And some of these hands being laid down again probably would be a little bit towards my inexperience of heads up. Again, one hand off of the hand that I wanted him to shove with. Again, we go back and forth. It's a pretty good match, all in all, throughout the whole session. Focus is really good at his reads, for sure. Again, guaranteed fold. Same thing. As you see, the stacks are starting to come back. This is where the aggression from Focus really pays off. It's hard to put him on a range because he's shoving so many hands here. It's hard to pick your spots that you want to finally just make your stand. You want to definitely make sure that when you do get it in that you are ahead, because the odds of improving heads up is a lot less. Alright, now I got a pair, just a C-bet, standard. Pretty scary board. Check, check. Focus rivers the straight. Pretty standard play. As you see, now that focus is starting to build his stack back up, it's getting a lot closer. The shoves are coming a lot less now, and we're getting back to poker. Pretty hard to call there. And pretty standard play. Alright, the call here is pretty much here to reevaluate. Again, like I said, paired board, the odds are really high that both of us have overs in this situation. Then just a steal attempt there. It works. Again, paint in position raise, and I get shoved on again. Alright, here pretty much the way this goes down is I raise, focus shoves. He has shoved so many hands that a suited ace here, to me, definitely is probably the stronger hand. The odds of us both having aces are a lot lower, so I call. I got exactly what I wanted. I got my chips in to the good. Focus had an ace, which really did surprise me. We were both suited. And it's not showing up, but there we go. Just a little bit delayed again. We both flopped the ace again. Another situation. This hand, no matter which way, would have played out the same way. Once we both had the ace paired, the betting would have got crazy. And the turn. Focus gets lucky, and I don't improve. Crips me for the next hand. A7. Pretty standard. And I don't improve. Well, guys, that's the way it all goes down. As you can see, it was a really good match. It went back and forth. I played a great tournament, and probably wouldn't have changed too much based off of who the opponent was. Probably need to work a little bit more on some fold shoving ranges, but other than that, I think I played really well, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and can take a little bit from it. Thank you.